Welcome back to another episode of Norse Studies with Zakk. We're going over the culture of the Teutons. If you haven't watched any of my episodes, they're in 10-minute intervals. We're just reading this together. Feel free to start at any episode that you've missed. Go back through my page. You can catch up with us. It's pretty easy. We're just going to go through this book together, kind of discern what Wilhelm Grönbeck is trying to say about Norse culture. Even here, of course, we cannot take the meaning of the word directly for granted, for the centuries have not passed unscathing over that little word. Words such as horse and cart and house and kettle may remain more or less unaltered throughout all vicissitudes of culture. But terms used to designate spiritual values necessarily undergo a radical change in the course of such spiritual transformations as have taken place in the souls of men in the North during the past 1,000 years. And the nearer such a word lies in its origin to the central part of the soul, the more sweeping changes it will undergo. If ever word bore the mark of the transforming influence of Christianity and humanism, it is the word Frith. If we look closely into the older significance of the word, we shall find something sterner, a firmness that has now given place to weakness. The Frith of earlier days was less passive than now, with less of submissiveness and more of will. It held also an element of passion, which has now been submerged in quietism. But the word tells us, indisputably, that the love which knit these kinsmen together is not to be taken in a modern, sentimental sense. The dominant note of kinsmanship is safety and security. Frith is the state of things which exists between friends, and it means first and foremost reciprocal inviolability. However, individual wills may clash in a conflict of kin against kin. However stubbornly individual heads may seek their own way according to their quota of wisdom, there can never be question of conflict save in the sense of thoughts and feelings working their way toward an equipoise in unity. We need have no doubt but that good kinsmen could disagree with page 19. Fervor. But however the matter might stand, there could, should, must, inevitably, be but one ending to it all, a settlement peaceably and making for peace. Frith. A quarrel had no lethal point. Two kinsmen could not lift a hand one against the other. The moment a man scented kinship, he lowered his arms. The ending of Bjorn and Hitdale Warriors Saga has a touch of something heroic comic about it. From this very fact, Bjorn fell after a brave fight by the hand of Thord Kolbjornsson and his companions. The grounds of enmity between the two were numerous and various, but we may safely say that Bjorn had done all in his power to interfere with Thord's domestic bliss. Among the opponents, Thord's young son, Koli, takes a prominent part. Then, says Bjorn, at the moment when he was beaten to his knee and at bay, "You strike hard today, Koli." "I do not know whom I should spare here," answers the youth. "True enough, for your mother has surely urged you not to spare me. But it seems to me that you are not the wisest in the matter of knowing your kin." And Koli answers, It is late in the day, you tell me of it. If we two are not free to fight." And with these words, he withdraws from all further participation in the battle. Even in the Icelandic sagas, I'm going to stop, hold on. So here we have these two guys, Koli and Bjorn. And Koli's mother is instructing him to kill Bjorn. And they're in battle, and Koli could kill Bjorn, seems fairly easily, And Bjorn says, you know, you're not wise enough to understand that I'm your kin, and the battle stops there. That's it. He's like, I can't put a sword to his neck. That's done. That's some pretty powerful stuff. I mean, you think about it, because in this day and age, you have people left and right, brothers and sisters fighting, and you hear some crazy stuff that happens on the news. Could you imagine all you gotta say is, wait, I'm your brother, or I'm your cousin, or, you know, what have you, and all of a sudden, that's it? It's like, oh shoot, I can't do that. Could you imagine how much honor a society would have to carry? But I guess that, you know, with everything that we've been reading, it would make a lot of sense, since these people didn't work in solidarity. They worked as a community. If they honor themselves, they're also honoring the community, and they're working together. If they dishonor themselves, or they do something against the community, then the community suffers all at once as well. So it makes sense that you have to carry that, because what are you going to do? You kill your own kin, or, you know, nobody's ever going to trust you again. It's pretty interesting stuff. It kind of, I guess, like, religiously speaking, almost falls into the, like, downfall of man, you know? Even in the Icelandic sagas from the period of dissolution, we find very few instances of men entering into combinations which might lead to family conflicts. The by no means lovable Faroe chieftain, Thrond of Gada, is offered money to take sides against his cousins, but before accepting, he pays tribute to the sense of what is right by saying to the tempter, "You cannot mean this in earnest." On another occasion, well, okay, so what he's saying is the Thrond of Gada was offered money to fight against his cousin, and he told this person, "You're seriously offering me money? You seriously think I'm going to go to battle against my cousins? You're going to be kidding me." On another occasion, when we read that a certain man must have been sorely blind to take part in a fight where his own sons were on the other side, there rings through the words in a mixture of wonder and repugnance, which speaks louder than the sharpest condemnation. From this wonder springs from the thought, how can he do such a thing? It is hard to get at a true impression of the fundamental laws in human life that provide the very essence of a conscience. Harder still to render such an impression living to others. They are not to be illustrated by noteworthy examples. In books of great and good deeds, a quality such as Frith will never be represented in proportion to its importance. It goes too deep. It does not find direct expression in the laws. It underlies all accepted customs, but never appears in the light itself. So, to me, that little excerpt is trying to explain how deeply Frith actually goes. He's kind of saying there is no way to explain it. Frith can be explained to a degree, but to truly understand it, you have to experience it. No matter how anybody writes about it, you'll never understand it until you experience it. I'm going to stop right there. If you guys want to get something else out of these videos, if you want them to be longer, if you want them to be shorter, please comment below. Rate, comment, subscribe. It helps me out. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.